Hello, welcome to the video walkthrough for my final project, DeadBrain. So here we are in the game. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate. We have an HP bar. I have a debug tool where if I press P, HP bar diminishes, and just like in assignment 2, when you're at low HP, the saturation drains from the world. And if you die, the level restarts. Also, there's a sprint feature, so currently I'm holding shift, and you can see that the stamina points bar is draining, and then about 3 seconds after I release shift, it will refill, and the stamina bar will also kick you out of the sprint if you drain it completely. There's a few pickups implemented. These 3-sided pyramids are jump height pickups. So here's the default jump height. And when I walk over these, they're picked up and they permanently increase jump height for the player. These pickups over here are movement speed pickups, and when I did my demo in class, they were not working, but since then I've fixed the sprinting mechanics, so now this is all working. It will permanently speed you up in and out of sprint, and that will not revert you back to the starting speed anymore. So these should be a pretty solid pickup for the player in the actual game. If you had 4 of them, you'd be in pretty good shape, able to run away from hordes of enemies much easier than someone without the pickup. I have plans to implement this as a reloading pickup, which would increase reload speed. However, currently reload speed is not a thing. I haven't implemented it yet, so that's still in progress. And also, if I press 2 on the keyboard, you can see the little message in the upper left corner that says grappling mode inactive. But when I press 2, it says grappling mode active. I went ahead and added some sound effects for grappling mode. So when you're flying through the air, now it actually will sound like you're flying through the air. I guess still something that I'd like to do would be to play those wind sound effects also just during basic falling. So I'll probably be tampering with that and trying to have this wind sound kick in, like when you're falling from the height of a building or similar. But yeah, for now that's all the features to showcase. I guess I could also show you some basic hit scan shooting, only when you're not in grappling mode. And let's see, I'll just show some of the blueprints, although there will also be screen captures of this. Oops, this is the wrong blueprint. Here's the first person character blueprint. So this is debug stuff up here. This is setting up variables and widgets and adding certain sounds. Like this is the rushing wind sound. And we just have a fade in and fade out mechanism that's tied to the grappling mechanic. More sounds here. And this is dealing with the flying. So actually here's the fade in and fade out. And I still want to make this so that if you're falling and you weren't previously flying and your negative z velocity is greater than negative 1000, then I also want this sound to fade in. so that's still to do. Here's the fixed sprinting implementation. Yeah, it wasn't quite working how I wanted when I demonstrated in class, but now it's working. Here's some basic movement inputs. Here's the input for changing the primary weapon mode. You can only change between the primary weapon shooting and grappling mode. And then have some Boolean setups. Currently, this grappling item picked up Boolean is always active. It's always true. I'm planning to turn this into a pickup item, which would be like colored purple or red or something to represent that it's like an epic pickup item. So it's kind of like finding an epic drop or similar. So you're not always going to have that super grapple on every run of this game, but for the purpose of demonstration, it's currently enabled every time. And then we have just some of the basics for the grappling, all the ray tracing, and some of the sounds, like this is that thruster rumbling that you heard. And then I use event tick in order to add the force that sends you flying through the air. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the best implementation. I might try to change that later, but for now it seems to be working nicely. And here's the handling for pickups. I have a class filter for BP item, and I loop through any BP items in the colliding array. Just make sure that it implements the BPI items interface, and then we take the item object, we cast it, we get an enum, which is inherent to that object. And then there's 3 possibilities for the enum currently. And as I add more items, I'll add more enums here. So right now the reload speed is not implemented, so that is a broken link, but the jump up and speed up enums are working just fine. And here's where I actually handle them interacting with the player, what the player is capable of doing. This is kind of disorganized. Let's fix that. And then we call pickup, which is just simple function that each BP item child class implements. This pickup function, it'll just destroy the item when you walk over it. And this is the leftover projectile spawn logic from the default first-person shooter project. I decided to keep it here in case I ever wanted to add a projectile pickup or similar. But yeah, that's a rundown of the entire project, essentially. There's a couple things like this thruster rumble. I recorded that in Audacity just with my voice and messed around with the settings, and I was pretty happy with the outcome. There's a couple others that are a little didn't come out quite as well, but I'll be having some fun with Audacity trying to make the game, just have a really immersive sound profile. There's also, I added a couple free projects from Epic Games, like this Soul Cave. That's where I got the background wind sounds and also the footstep sounds that you can hear. So these are all sounds from the Soul Cave project, which is an Epic Games project that I was able to add from the Epic Games launcher. All right, thanks for watching.